Hello everybody, this is the Peaceful Revolutionary. I'm happy to be here again. I have a pretty interesting subject today, and it's something that this time of year, or at least it starts this time of year, people are asking me a lot about, and it's usually about diet, because they're starting to see Christmas coming. They're worried about their weight. They're worried about the winter, having, especially here, we're in the northern climate, how much food they need to have a good diet. And people are asking me all these questions. So I figured I'd make a video, and I can always share the video and tell them, okay, here, watch this, and you got all the information you need. One of the difficulties is that in the media, mainstream media, on websites, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of information about dieting and about, you should take this, that, supplements. You should take all this stuff to be healthy. And truth is, a lot of it is really, really bullshit. There's a lot of stuff. They're trying to convince you that if you use a certain type of product or a certain diet, it's going to be okay and you'll be fine. And they're competing against each other commercially to get your dollars. And really, you really, really, really don't need to do that. Now, how come people come to me? Why do people come to me with these questions? Well, it's because I have training in biochemistry. I know how the body works, and I've obviously did extra studies around health. I keep up to date with all these scientific research that kind of shows exactly what happens in the body and what types of supplements and or foods actually what kind of foods actually have some kind of impact, and whatever impact it has, or because sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what you need to know. Both for a healthy diet and also to keep your weight down or to lose weight if you need to lose some weight. Okay? Pretty simple. First, we're going to go through all the supplements stuff because I need to clear that out and make sure you guys understand what that's all about, because you have all this. Anyway, I just need to let you know so that you're good. Okay? First, here's the list of things that are good as supplements. Okay? And this is obviously for a normal person that doesn't have a medical history of lacking something. Because some people, the doctor is going to tell you, well, genetically, or there's some kind of condition you have where you're missing something. So you guys follow your doctor, okay? That's really important, because you have a special condition of some sort, and he's telling you need extra of this, and you need to follow your doctor's advice, okay? For those items, do that. Everybody else, listen to me really carefully. This is what you need to take as supplements, and then I'll go through all the BS stuff that you shouldn't take. Okay, number one, vitamin D. Vitamin D is good. The body does produce it. Okay, but it's actually pretty hard to come by in food. So it's good to take it in small amounts, not too much. Okay, the body's producing it, but especially in northern climates, and most people in the Western Hemisphere, we're pretty sedentary. We don't spend enough time outside, in particular in winter where the days are short and it's cold, especially here in Canada. We don't spend a lot of time in the sun, because even though you produce it in the body, that vitamin D is not activated. It needs the sun to activate. Okay? Even some supplements that you have on the shelf, it's not activated vitamin D. In some cases, you still need the sun to make it work. Otherwise, it's useless. It doesn't act as a vitamin. It kind of floats in your body and doesn't do anything. It needs to be activated by the sun. Okay? So definitely, you have to check on the bottles to make sure that sometimes they write down like D3, or there's a 3 in the parentheses. That's a good kind. That's what you need. Okay? Or activated vitamin D, things like that. If it just says vitamin D, you don't really know what you're taking. It may be unactivated. You still need the sun. I mean, you should spend some time in the sun even in winter. But if you don't, or if you really want to have maximum impact of your vitamin D that you're going to buy, Make sure it's the activated kind or the D3 or whatever is on the label. That's going to be good. In particular with women, it's going to be, because especially women that are not menopausal, or even I think after menopause, I'm not sure about that. You're losing a lot more vitamin D than usual. So women should take more than men, are more prone to having a deficiency in vitamin D than guys, because you're losing some with your periods and things like that. Okay, so vitamin D is okay. Not too much. I'm going to get to that later, why not too much. Zinc. Okay, zinc is the only mineral that I know of it's okay to take as a supplement. That's actually a good idea. And the only reason it is to shorten the amount of cold. Why am I saying that? Well, everything is based on science for me and research. It has been pretty solidly proven that if you take zinc, your cold is going to be shorter. It has some effect on rhinoviruses, which is what the cold viruses is. It's going to inhibit its replication somehow. We don't really understand why and how it happens, but we know that if you have more zinc in the body, it won't replicate as much, which means you're going to defeat your cold faster. If you don't have a particular cold problem, I mean, you don't need to take any zinc. I mean, it's not an obligation. The only effect we could find as far as adding supplements to your diet is it's going to reduce the amount of time you're going to spend with your cold, right? So it's a fairly minimal impact. So don't know if it's worth the money. It depends on person to person, especially if you tend to have long colds. Well, maybe that's worth it. If you're like me and your cold's gone in about a couple of days, you really won't. It's really not worth the expense. Folic acid, the vitamin B9. If you are pregnant or expecting, or whatever other terminology, folic acid can be good because it's really good for the baby. And if you're not pregnant, drop it. Don't need it. Okay, you're fine. Okay, these are the only 3 supplements that I could find, and I'm posting a good article that actually links to the research and stuff like that. That are good, and they're fairly circumstantial. Vitamin D is because mostly northern climates or sedentary lifestyles. Zinc is to shorten the cold, and folic acid is specifically for ladies that are expecting a child, like they're going to give birth in 9 months or whatever. Okay, everything else, all the other supplements, except for one, because we just don't know, are bad for you. Research shows that if you take, I'm going to go through the list here, antioxidants, vitamin C, vitamin B3, vitamin E, which are pretty popular. If you take supplements of those, it actually increases your chances of having health problems. Increases. Antioxidants they've been popular for a while as a supplement, for a long time actually. And there's very good research, like fairly recent research, that actually demonstrates that the body needs to balance between antioxidants and oxidants. There's a gentle balance between the two. If you have too much of one or the other, it's bad. So if your doctor is telling you, okay, you have too many oxidants because of stress and stuff like that in your body, a supplement of antioxidant may be in order. But you can get that from fruit. Antioxidants are full in all sorts of fruits, like any fruit, but the darker ones are better. Raisins, well, grapes, I guess. Raisins and grapes, the darker ones, like the red ones, or the blue ones. Blueberries, strawberries, any fruit that has a dark color is usually a little bit higher in antioxidants. So if your doctor is telling you that you don't have the right balance, eat a little bit more of that, and you're good. Don't take supplements. The research is showing that supplements is going to increase your chances of cancer and a whole bunch of other problems, because you need both. You need oxidants and antioxidants. The body has what we call a homeostasis. It has a balance of things, and if you disturb it by taking supplements, you're causing problems. you're exacerbating a potential problem, because most people are doing it out of prevention, but you're probably causing more harm than good by doing preventative medicine, by taking supplements. Just eat a balanced diet, and your body's going to take care of itself. If your doctor is telling you that you're missing something, please do something, then do something about it. And most of the time, it's going to be just like an adjustments in diet. Okay? Multivitamins, don't take them. Don't take them at all. That has whole lists of vitamins that can cause problems if you take too much of it. Don't take them. Notwithstanding that most of the multivitamins, if you have a balanced diet already, you're just going to pee it out. It's going to be useless to you, notwithstanding the possible health issues, right? The component that people look for right now, it's very popular these days, that science can't really tell if it's good or bad, is the probiotic element. Now, probiotics, just to explain what it is, essentially it's food for the bacteria, the benevolent bacteria that are residing in your intestine. They're helping you digest, for example, and they have other little benefits. So if you take probiotics, what you're doing is actually you're taking substances that those bacteria will like, and it goes into your intestines. Bacteria grow more, and they're healthier, so you tend to be healthier. I mean, that's actually that's the theory, at least. Now, some researchers are saying, some research says that it tends to have good benefits if you take the supplements, and some research says that it has bad results. So 50-50. We don't know yet. It's fairly new, the probiotics. I would, because it's 50-50, I would recommend you don't take any probiotic. You just eat some yogurt. Eat stuff that has bacteria in it, like yogurt, for example. And you're going to take probiotics by doing that. Smaller quantities than supplements, but since we don't know if it's good or bad, taking supplements, you might as well just stick with food, right? Regular food, just a balanced diet. Now, circling back to multivitamins, one of the reasons why multivitamins are fairly terrible is that all the minerals that are in there, if there are minerals in there, and all the vitamins except for the vitamin A, beta-carotene, which is the same, okay? Vitamin D, E, and K. Those vitamins are liposoluble. It means they're gonna stick to your lipids, to your fatty tissues, and they're gonna stay in there. They're gonna accumulate. Eventually, if you keep taking multivitamins, especially large amounts, and you still have a balanced diet, these 4 vitamins in their forms are going to stay inside your fatty tissue, and you over time, and this takes months or years. It's not an easy thing, so it's not a huge danger. But if you keep like being a health nut and take all these multivitamins and a balanced diet, it's going to accumulate in your system, and you will develop toxicity to it. Too much of a good thing is bad. Okay, all the other minerals, all the other vitamins. I mean, the body is going to take whatever it needs from the blood, and then you're going to pee the rest out. So essentially, when you're taking multivitamins, you're taking potentially toxic levels, eventually toxic levels of vitamins, most of which we've already explored, except for vitamin D. You don't need to take, and actually, it's a bad idea to take. Okay, and also, you're just buying like expensive pee, for the most part. You might as well just take the vitamin D that you need in there, because of northern climate and sedentary movements and all that stuff. You don't spend enough time in the sun and blah blah blah. Right? Just take the vitamin D. Everything else is just money in the toilet. You don't need that. Okay, so stay away from that. All right. Now that we have that done, like all the I forgot to mention omega-3. Don't need supplements for that. Just eat fish. That's all. Just eat a bit of fish. And I'm not even sure, looking at documents, if there is any proven benefit from it. A lot of the health recommendations that come from industry, like you should take omega. They're fabrications. That's what happened with antioxidant. There was one research at some point many years ago from a researcher that was looking through antioxidants, and he noticed that in people that had high stress levels or high oxidant levels in their bodies, if they took antioxidants, it would help them. That's true, because like I mentioned about antioxidants, now that we know there's a balance between the two, and the balance is important. If you have an imbalance, taking the other element that balances it out is going to be good, right? But it became like a thing. Well, it's going to be important for health overall. It's going to be important for all this stuff. But the research didn't support that at all. That was all a complete commercial binge to try to get people to buy antioxidant A, B, and C, and extracts and all this stuff. Omega-3 is the same thing. There was a little research that was showing that, it's good for the body, and everybody went on the bandwagon. You don't really consider if there's any need for it. If it's good for the body, okay. Well, there's other foods that are good for the body. Is that the only one? Well, maybe not. Okay, so just calm down on that. What you need is a balanced diet. Another research going towards the weight loss here. Very solid research shows that what you really need is really a balanced diet. You've heard that a lot. What does that mean? What it means is that your body needs fruits and vegetables, and to a lesser extent cereal, but ultimately that's also vegetables. I mean, in North America, they quantify them. They qualify them. They're put in different categories, but it's plants and plants. You get me? Plants are good. We need to eat plants. Okay? So cereals, vegetables, and fruit, it's also plants, but I mean, it comes from the sexual organs of trees and plants. I know that's kind of gross, but that's exactly what fruit are. It's like you're usually eating the uterus of a plant. That's what it is. Okay? And so those are all good. Fruit are best eaten in between meals because they're sweet, and studies have been showing that it's a little bit better if you eat them in between meals. It's no biggie if you eat with your main meal with everything else, but that should be, those two should be your main elements in everything that you eat every day, and you should, in theory, you should be eating meat. Or that includes fish, all kinds of meats. You should be eating them about 3 times a week, 4 times a week for the average Joe or Jeanette or Joan, and you'll be fine. There's certain things in meat that you can't find in the veggies, okay, or the fruit. So but you don't need a lot of them. Usually, it's just vitamin B12, for example, which is also called cobalamin. It's not found in plants, but it's found in animal tissue, and the body doesn't produce it. So, and it needs like micrograms, like small amounts. So eat just a little meat, and you should be good. Quality over quantity as well. And here's where it ends. And we're circling towards the weight loss issue. Okay. If you eat low-quality food, and you can, for example, potato chips, fast food, things like that, that doesn't have a lot of nutritional content. Even if you overcook certain meals, for example, it reduces the value of the vegetables and fruit. But low quality is bad. And it's really because, low quality food, let's say, let's give you an example here. If you take, let's say 100 grams of potato chips, it's primarily potatoes, all right? And you take 100 grams of potato, just a straight up potato from the field, okay? They both have the same, because it's the same amount of grams and it's primarily potato in both, right? They both have the same amount of grams of calories, okay? So you're eating but one is lower quality than the others. All right, you following me? If you eat the potato chip, those calories will go into the body and be converted to different things that the body needs, including energy, and there's other components of the potato chips that will go that are like salts and minerals and different things like that. It goes into the body. You take up the straight potato from the field, you eat it, you have some conversion to different things that the body needs, not only the energy, but also vitamins and minerals and all this stuff, right? The potato from the ground is going to give you more of the stuff your body needs. But it's the same amount of calories as the potato chips, okay? So if you eat low-quality food like this, you eat, let's say, 2,000 calories, okay, in your day of low-quality food, your body won't necessarily get everything that it needs because it's low quality. It's missing bits. It's missing, vitamins, minerals, and different elements. If you eat like whole foods like raw vegetables and potatoes and things like that, for 2,000 calories, you're going to get a lot more of what your body needs. So, and the way the body works is that it has all these signals inside. So when it's missing something, it feels like it's missing something, it's going to make you feel hungry. That's what it does. That's the only signal it has. It's going to make you feel hungry. Because of some memory of food, it may make you hungry for something specific. For example, I'm going back to the potato chips. If you're hungry for potato chips, maybe it's not seeking necessarily the calories. It's seeking something from memory that when you eat potato chip that it gets. It could be sodium because potato chips usually are salty. Maybe it's missing sodium. Maybe it's missing chlorine. Maybe it's missing something different that it remembers it's sated. It was sated in the past when you ate potato chips. So maybe you have a sodium deficiency because you don't have a balanced diet. Okay, so you feel hungry, you eat potato chips. Well, along with the sodium the body actually is thinking about needing, you're eating all these calories. So you're overeating calories. Calories translate into fat and fatty tissues if you eat too much eventually. So and that's really the point of eating quality food and a balanced diet. If you eat a balanced diet and quality food, you're going to eat X amount of calories, but at the same time, you're pretty much going to cover all bases of what your body needs. You're going to avoid the cravings most of the time. If you get the low quality foods, there's a high chance that your body's still going to feel hungry, not for the calories and energy, but for things that are missing in the diet because it's not balanced and it's not good quality. So you're going to eat more stuff because your body's seeking what it's missing. So you may eat 2,500 calories that day, and that's maybe 500 calories more than what your body actually needs, what your body actually has burned. So those 500 calories will be translated directly into fat. If you do that every day, guess what? You're going to get fatter. So if you want to lose weight, what you need to look at is not only the caloric intake, you need to look at the quality of the food you're eating, because that's going to make the big difference too. You may eat like a small meal and you're telling yourself like, I'm eating very little, how come I'm not losing weight, or how come I'm gaining weight? Well, maybe those meals are not good enough quality, or you're avoiding something that your body needs, even if it is good quality. Because you don't want to eat eggs, you don't want to eat meat, you don't want to eat something, and your body's kind of craving, it's looking for what it's missing, and it kind of forces you to eat like later in the evening or snacking because it's kind of gnawing at you, okay? So quality, balanced diet, and don't eat too much. Like try to limit your calories within that window, and you're good, okay? Eat a little bit of meat every week, not too much. Now, the last thing I wanted to tell you, The health organizations are going to recommend a diet, and it's a blanket balanced diet for everybody. A recent research, and I was looking for it, I can't find it anymore, unfortunately, but it's out there. It's really recent. It's 2016. Okay, has shown that if we stick to a diet that's prescribed for us from Health Canada or whatever you guys have in the U.S., it may not be good for you. Okay, because each person is different. Just because the organization is saying X amount of this, X amount of that, it's good for everybody, it's not true. The research has shown that some people actually need to be healthy or to be optimum health, need to eat meat every day. Some people are like that. And you need to kind of learn using quality foods. You need to learn when you have a craving or what your body is missing. And you need to learn what is it really asking for. Is it a lack of energy? Because that could be it if you're really eating very little. Or it could be salt. It could be some vitamins, something. And try to find a healthy quality food that will compensate for that and learn what your body needs. Maybe it's not meat. Maybe in your case, the body needs more vitamins. Perhaps like vitamin, let's say B3. Maybe you should eat more salmon then, or more beets, and that's instead of taking supplements, you just get a little bit more salmon in your diet every week, or a little bit more like beets or other vegetables that are higher in B3, and you still keep your caloric intake, and you don't feel cravings anymore to eat. It gets balanced. You see what I mean? And everybody's different according to the study. Like applying the perfect diet from the health organization, some people's health went down, some went up, depending on what they were eating previously. It's really case by case, but ultimately, though, in all cases, quality over quantity, and you need to kind of learn what your body really needs. And if it's craving something, don't go for the fast food. Don't go for the chips and snacks. Try to really know, it's like, okay, I'm looking, what is in that food that my body is craving? If it's craving chocolate, maybe it's because I feel depressed, because that's very frequent. You don't need to eat the sugar. Sometimes it's depressed, because inside chocolate, cocoa, there are natural antidepressants, and your body kind of remembers. It's like, when I felt depressed, I ate chocolate last time, and it made me feel better. So then every time you feel depressed, you feel like eating, like gorging on chocolate. Chocolate is, usually it's very sweet. Eat a little bit of dark chocolate. A lot less calories than that, right? And it's going to get the antidepressants that your body kind of needs because you feel bad. You don't feel so hot. So kind of learn what your body needs and try to pick foods that will get it what it needs without adding too many calories. And you do that by eating a balanced diet, high quality foods, and knowing the diet that works for you. So that's it. That's it for today, and because that's really it. There's no magic potion to it. There's no other secret around it. Don't worry about desserts. Don't worry about whether you should have it. You should eat that. Like, focus yourself on supplements that you actually need, and most of them you don't. And just eat a wide variety of things, and fresh, and from the market, not from a can. And you should be good. All right. So I wish you a great time trying to lose the weight for the holiday, and getting yourselves a healthy and a healthy diet. I wish you well. Have a good one.